Welcome to Griddle Cooking Live with Chef Sherry Ronning. It's been a few days. I've taken a few days off. It's been cold here in Michigan, and I was outside cooking for a while, but then it got super cold and we got snow, and so I just kind of gave up on the outside cooking. So I'm back inside today, and we are going to be making a griddle ham in Swiss sliders. So I've done this sliders, all different ways. So I like to do it in the Blackstone pizza oven. That's my favorite, I think, of doing it because it gets a nice crispy thing from the pizza oven, the oven part of it. You can do this in the oven. You can do this in a saute pan on the stove if you want to, but I like to do it on the flat top Blackstone griddle. Hi Dan, how are you? It's been a while. It's been a few days. So Dan has been sending me pictures. I have been loving all the pictures. He's been cooking up a storm on his griddle, and that is one thing that I love to see, your guys' pictures. Private message me if you don't want to put them in the group. I have the Blackstone Griddles lovers group. If you want to join that and post pictures in there, you're more than welcome to. But you can just send it to me. Dan and I talk back and forth. He gives me advice, and I ask him different questions on stuff. And that's what I am here for. I want to get you guys cooking on your griddles. If you're stuck and you're not sure what to do, message me. I'm here. I'm a resource for you. I'm an open book. You can do Facebook Messenger. I have the email posted on my website. You can go to frommichigantothetable.com and you can go on there and message me through there. So all forms of communication that you can do with me. So want to give you an update on my YouTube channels. I have been asking, trying to get the YouTube subscribers. So I was successful. Yay! I ended up getting the 1,000 subscribers. So right now I am at 1,032 subscribers, which I'm so happy about. I broke that 1,000 barrier. So, but now I'm really trying to get my watch hours up. So I need you guys watching my videos. I need you to go on and, watch one and then let it play through, watch another one, and keep on doing that for a little bit. I'm hoping within the next few days to be able to achieve this goal, but it might take a little bit more time. So I need 702 watch hours out of 4,000. So I already have 3,298 watch hours in. So I just need just a few more. We're right there. So I need you guys to keep on watching my videos, comment on them so that YouTube will put they will show it more if you guys put comments in and, tell me it was a good video, tell me it was a bad video. I know sometimes I struggle with the videos, and if you watch my earlier videos compared to what I'm doing now, it's completely different. And so it's kind of fun to compare to see how far I've come, because I actually started my channel in 2019. So it's been a little bit. Let's get started. I'm going to stop rambling. I have got quite a bit for you today. So I'm going to start the griddle. I'm using the electric Blackstone griddle. I'm going to set this at low. I'm going to let's do 325. I probably could do 350, but we're just going to go 325. Simple ingredients. I am using the pack of Hawaiian rolls. I'm just using the smaller one because it's just me. But you can use the bigger pack. You can get the bigger one. You can do this if you're feeding a crowd. This is an awesome recipe to feed a whole bunch of people at one time. So you can mix and match. But I'm doing the Hawaiian rolls. I'm doing sliced ham. I'm doing slices of Swiss cheese. And then I'm going to be using the garlic butter, garlic herb and butter. You can make your own butter sauce, by just melting down butter, some garlic, minced garlic, some seasonings if you want in there, some fresh herbs in there. I'm just trying to make this super simple. So I'm going to be melting my butter. So as my griddle is heating up, you can use like any like little bowl. You can do this in the microwave if you want. It's pretty, it's kind of easy. I'm just going to put some in here. And that's basically all it is. I get this in the butter section, and they actually have all different flavors. I've tried quite a few different kinds. I really like this, and it is super easy. I don't have to go and get all the ingredients to make the butter and stuff. All I do is take a scoop of it just like that and let it heat up, melt, and we're good to go. So another thing you can do, this is a good way if you're making ham for Easter, and I like to do this boiled ham and take this and if you have any leftover ham from Easter, you can use it for this recipe. This is an awesome leftover ham recipe to do. But at the end of this video, I am going to show you a bonus on how I make boiled ham. Super easy. You might think it's really weird, but I have been making this for years. It is actually my husband's grandma's recipe. I think she's been making it for years, and then we would go for Easter, and then his mom made it, and then now I'm making it. And I've probably been doing this recipe for probably a good 25 years. So super easy. We'll do this at the end, and I will show you how to make boiled ham very easily. So let's get started. I have this, and I do this all the time. You got to make sure that you press a button to actually turn it on, because it wasn't heating up, and because I set the timer, but I didn't actually press it to start it. So I do that all the time. It drives me crazy, but that's why I kept on trying to feel if it was actually on or not. So we're going to get going with this. I forgot to grab, it's easiest if you use a bread knife on this. So I'm going to cut this in half. We're going to go like that, just very gently. Make sure you don't cut yourself. I can feel it going at the end there, like that. And so we're going to do 2 halves like that. And we're going to take, when the butter melts, I'm actually going to toast both sides. So I am going to toast the outsides first, and then we'll toast the inside. So if you're doing this on the pizza oven, I just have it to where you can assemble it, put it in the pizza oven, and then if you want to put it together and then toast the top of it, oh, it is so, so good that way. In the oven, you can just like put it on a sheet pan like this, put the ham and the Swiss on it, put it in there, heat it up. You can even put it underneath a broiler if you want, and put it together and assemble your sandwich. It's all of it will work. Dan, have you ever made sliders before? I know they're pretty popular. Some people really like them. I know, like during right now March Madness, my husband is watching basketball games like crazy and stuff, and this is a good one if you don't want to be stuck in the kitchen, but you want to make a quick meal for you while you're watching TV and stuff. Or if you have a crowd of people that's come over to watch TV, this is a really good thing to quickly make, and you can cut it up, and you can actually make different varieties. Like I've done the ham and Swiss, I've done turkey and provolone, and I've done you can do like a chicken, buffalo chicken with cheddar cheese on it. Is really good. So you can make different kinds in just by swapping up the ingredients just a little bit. So Dan says he's only done it in the oven. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get your guys' comments. I need to really figure that out. So there's a way that I can actually click on it, I think, and then get your comments to display on the screen. But so if you're coming in, if you're watching me, I'm not sure, we have a few people on. So if you're watching me, just put where you're from in the comments. If you're on Facebook, just like as you see Dan, he's putting his name first. So that just lets me know who I'm talking to, because when you're coming in from Facebook, I can't see your names on there at all. So it just makes it easier for me to be able to talk back and forth and to know who I'm talking to. So this is melting. It's doing pretty good. We're just going to let it go just a touch longer. And I'm going to use the dome lid on this. One thing that I found too is that it's the cheese, it doesn't want to get all the way through. So if you use a dome lid, that will help with it. And I'm gonna go with it. So we're gonna do I'm just using just a pastry brush here that I have all different kinds of this. This happens to be a silicone one that I use. It is really good with the heat. And then I'm actually we'll do this side. So I'm actually going to do all 4 sides on this, and I'm not doing a ton. It's not like really, really soaking in. I'm not drowning it in the butter. I'm just doing it so it just adds just a little bit more flavor to it, and it just gives it just a little bit more oomph to it and stuff. So, and it'll also help with the browning. So I'm going to put that, as you hear it sizzle, it's nice and hot. I'm going to pull this because I really I'm almost, there's not much left in there. And so I'm going to flip this over because I want to brown the outside. And so I'm going to press down just a little bit on this because the bun part, it's rounded. And I'm trying to get as much of the contact to it as I can of the griddle. And we're going to I'm just using, you could use the ham from your Thanksgiving or your Easter if you would like. I just got some deli ham, and that's what I'm going to use with this, is just thinly sliced. I like paper thin. I'm one of those that if it's thick, my family won't eat it, and so please do not slice it thick for me. So I'm using very thin sliced ham. And I get this at the deli. I just go to the deli and ask. You can get like the pre-done, it's kind of up to you however you like. And then I'm going to use a couple slices of this. I've only got 3 left here, so we'll go with it. Swiss cheese. So you can use any kind of cheese that you want, swap it up. If you don't like Swiss, add provolone. If you want cheddar, add that. That's perfectly fine. This sandwich is really customizable. Oh, I forgot my spatula. And it's been a while. It's been over a week since I've done a video for you guys. It's just been so cold. I haven't been wanting to do a whole lot, and I've also been doing what's called 7 and 7 challenge. So I've been doing 7 blog posts in 7 days, and that kind of takes a lot out of me. And it is one. Ooh, we're gonna turn this. Look at that, nice and crispy. We got there. Show you guys up close. Nice golden brown color. You don't want to burn it. Yeah, this is good too. We're going to turn this. So I can smell the garlic in here from just the melted butter on there. It's given it a different smell, a different aroma, which is exactly what I want with this sandwich. You can use plain butter. If you don't like the flavored butters, you can just use plain butter on this and call it good. So this will work with both. I just like to give it that little extra kick when I'm doing it, but I like simple. I'm simple. I'm a simple cook. I'm not one, like, you could also do like grilled mushrooms, grilled onions, grilled peppers. You can add all kinds of stuff to this, which would go with it. I'm just keeping it real simple. When I eat my sandwich, I like simple. So, you're jazz it up if you like it. Um, Yum, looks perfect. SR, not sure who SR is, but yes, thanks for it. Does look good. So yes, Dan has been, yeah, he's been catching up on the replays. So I have been like asking people to go and watch my videos on YouTube. I have 115 videos, so different videos. So I have a lot for you guys to choose from. I have like right now I'm focusing on the griddle, but I have recipes that I did before that I started working on the griddle. So there's all kinds of stuff for you to choose from. I have one that if you want to get to know me better, videos that like with my nephew, my great nephew Parker. So him and I are cooking, we're cooking on the griddle, and it's just a little bit to get to know me more if you want to know more about me. I'm turning it over. So I've got this. I'm putting the cheese on the warm spots here. I'm just going to use all of my cheese because I just have the 3 slices there. So I'm going to just go like that. We'll just go try to get the surface area. And then I'm just going to take the ham and just kind of wrinkle it up. I don't like it like if you do flat like that. I like to add texture to it and just wrinkle the ham up. You can also take, which I probably should have, I didn't think about it. You can actually put this and warm this up first before you put it on the griddle. So that's also another option like that, get it a little bit warm. And you can use however the amount that you want on this. I am going like that, but then I'm going to, where's my spatula? I'm going to take and I'm going to flip this over to get this. Look at that. We're going to put it underneath the dome lid for just a minute or two, not very long, to try to get that all melted. The cheese was melting from being on the griddle, so the cheese was melting pretty good. So I think we're good. It's just like to kind of just melt it to get it all together. It just kind of helps it out. So I like to serve it. We're going to cut it up and serve it that way. I like some lettuce and some mayo, and then I'll serve it with a side of chips. So you can kind of do however. You can serve it with pickles. You can, make sides. Like if you want to do sides, you can serve this with sides and stuff. Or even like an assortment of different chips and stuff. If you're making it for a crowd, have all different kinds of stuff that they can go with this. And, you know, Dan says that he learns things every time I rewatch one. Yeah, I try to give like tips in different things, and you just never know what you're gonna find. And one thing that I found, it's just those little tips that make the difference when you're cooking on the griddle. Just the littlest things. Like when I use the dome lid, I don't flip it up. I keep it like I'm checking on it like this. You want to keep the heat in there, so set it down with it like this, and then if you need to go back to it, then go like that. So super important tip. And when I first was cooking, I just flipped it up and was struggling with it and stuff. And I'm like, that's just stupid. You're creating an oven. You need to keep the heat in the oven when you're cooking with it. So, super stuff. And there's tips when like this griddle versus the griddle outside. Different tips that I've learned. I think this is probably good. I don't want to get the bottom too done because I did toast the bottom, and it's, yeah, we're nice. Look at the color on that. Look how nice that is. We got color on the bottom. nice and crispy. We got the melty cheese there that's going down. So I'm just going to put it on the board, and I'm going to shut the griddle off because I'm all done with that today. And then I got the knife. Just take a sharp knife like this and cut it where, and you can actually do smaller, or if you want to serve, like if you want to have servings like that, serve it like that, or, make it smaller if you want. We're going to go like that. There we go. And then you just add your toppings. This, I'm going to add just a little mayo. You can add tomatoes. You can add peppers on this. It's kind of pickles if you guys like pickles on your sandwich. I know sometimes my kids will take the stackers. They like the pickle stackers on there. Look at that. There we go. The perfect griddle ham and Swiss slider sandwich that we made in very little time. It's super, super, super easy to make, and you can feed a crowd with this. Buy the big packs. You can actually probably fit 2 of those big packs on here and make a whole bunch of sandwiches in a matter of just a few minutes for a whole crowd. Under 20 minutes, that's done. And Dan says that he likes to make fresh cranberry salad using frozen cranberries as a side. Yeah, that sounds good. And actually something like that, some people will actually use that as a topping on this to add color and that kind of thing. Yeah, that's really, good. That is an amazing sandwich. I'm all for a nice warmed up sandwich, and that is perfect. So I'm just going to serve it with a side of chips. And there you go. The ham and Swiss slider sandwiches made on the Blackstone griddle. Super, super easy to make, and your family's going to love this. Yes, yes. Oh, I'm gonna eat that. I can taste the garlic now that I'm have it in my mouth and stuff. The garlic from the butter, I could taste that along with the ham and the Swiss. So that just adds another dimension flavor to it and stuff. So, few things that I want to talk to you about. So I have been, I got a message from a friend of mine, Kathy McBride, and one thing I want to talk to you guys about is I learn from you as much as you might learn from me. And I want to keep the communications open. And if I say something that I'm cooking on here and you're not quite sure about it, message me and talk to me about it. And, but she ended up, Kathy McBride, she bought my cookbook. So I do have the cookbook, Recipes for the Blackstone Griddle. So she bought this from me, and she bought the electric one, and she's been cooking like crazy on it. You can go to FromMichiganToTheTable.com, and I have that on there for you if you want to purchase that. So we're talking, she's sending me pictures of different stuff that she's making. She's doing all kinds of amazing stuff. And I want you guys to feel like you can talk to me about stuff. Like if I'm doing something, and so she sent me this, and in her manual that she just bought, it says on here that not to use the cooking spray. So I have talked about this before, and on here about if I use this in a pan, I'm using it on the griddle. And and I'm thinking, I'm like, I've never seen anywhere Blackstone saying that not to use cooking spray on this. And so they suggest using, like, getting a bottle like this and putting oil in it and using that to spray instead of that, which makes perfect sense. I think what had happened, so I'm going to show you, like, this is my manual that I got. No mention of the cooking spray in there. It's the same, like, protecting the nonstick surface, the same as Kathy's, but it's just, and I think what has happened over time, they've updated it. My griddle is several years old, and I think that, they must be maybe getting complaints and stuff. And I think maybe what's happening is, if you're using the cooking spray, if you let the griddle cool down, it's gonna stick. It's gonna cause, like, stuff on it. And, like, maybe people are taking this and scratching. The porcelain top on this is going to be ruined when you do that. I've talked about this before, not to scratch and scrape on this thing because you will ruin the flat top. My griddle is several years old. I've had it for quite a few years, and you can barely tell when I get this all cleaned up. It looks brand new. You can't even tell the difference with it. But the one thing that I do that I think, people maybe the difference, like, if I use the cooking spray, it'll, and it's like if you use a pan, say like this, you make fried eggs on the stove with a pan like this, you spray it. If you, after you get done cooking with it, if you leave it just sit there and there's the grease that are in there, when it cools down and you go to try to clean it, it's tough. I mean, it, like, stains the grease that gets in there. You either have to really scrub it, which ruins the top on here, or you get the residue of the grease stains on it. One thing that I found over the years, because we like these nonstick pans, is, like, we'll make eggs with it or French toast or whatever on it. When I get done, the minute I get done with it, before cleaning or before doing anything else, I will take a piece of paper towel like this and I will wipe this completely clean like that, and then set it on the stove, and then I clean it, or we'll reuse it. Like, some people, if we have traffic coming in and out of the house, then they use that. So, and I found that our pans stay nicer longer. I don't have issues with that grease stain, that buildup that gets on there. And I think the same thing is true for this, is that, you need to do the same thing. Like, I will take and wipe this. This cleanup on this is so much better if I wipe it down. There's still spots on here, like where I had the ham, that is not coming off with this. But if I wipe it with this first, it makes it easier to clean this. But then another tip that I've done for a long time since I've had mine, which this is well warm, is the magic eraser. When I'm cleaning this porcelain griddle, this doesn't apply to the outside griddle. This is the completely different cleaning thing with this. I use this on it, so I'm going to let this completely cool down. I don't know if you guys can see it. Like, on my griddle right now, yeah, you can't see it. But right here, I have black stains from when I put the ham on there just to warm it up just a little bit. It's got black spots, and it doesn't want to come off. It's still a little bit warm, so I am not going to mess with it too much. But I will put the soapy hot water in there, and then I will use this to get that up, and my griddle will be perfectly clean. It's not, I'm not going to sit and take this and go like that and try to get that black off of there, because that's going to ruin the porcelain top. This here is non-abrasive sponge that really does good for getting the stuff off. But you want to make sure, though, too, not to use, like, we have the sponges that have the blue in the middle of it, and you don't want to use that, because that's a scratcher and abrasive, and it'll scratch the top of this. So do not do that at all. That's how I clean it, and it's super easy. I have no problems. My griddle has lasted for several years. I've been cooking on it like crazy. I used to take this to the news. I don't know if you guys know, when I used to do the 9 and 10 news cooking segment every other Friday, I was taking this the majority of the time and cooking on it. And my griddle looks, you could see it's a shiny. Look how shiny it is. There's no chips in it. There's no, like residue of stuff on it. It's perfectly fine. So back to Kathy McBride and her messaging me about that. I really am grateful that she talked to me, and but it kind of lets me know what you guys are thinking. I'm a chef. I cook, but I don't know it all. I'm learning all the time. I want to learn all the time, and I'm learning from you guys. And if you guys don't teach me, then I can't learn and I can't share what I've learned with other people. That is my whole mission in life, is to teach other people how to cook and to share my recipes. So, and to do that, I need your guys' help. So just don't be afraid to talk to me, whether it's private message, whether it's seeing me on the street. If you're local and you see me out and about and say, hey, you know, talk to me. I'm an open book. I'm completely, I'm open about things. So, I'm glad that she pointed that out. And I think that was just an issue with the older books. When they first were selling these, they didn't have it, but then I think maybe they got people calling in and saying that it ruined their porcelain top and all this, and so that's what they put that in there, for a warning, to protect themselves against, different stuff. But I'm telling you, just that's what I do, and it works for me. So just take it with a grain of salt. But to let you know that Blackstone products is not recommending you use cooking spray on this porcelain top here. So just to let you know that. So let's go. Gonna end this. We already did the ham and Swiss slider sandwich. We got that done out of the way, but I wanted to show you my boiled ham recipe. So this is something that I've made for years. Easter is coming up next week, and this is something that we make for Easter time. We actually I make it all the time, actually, because it's a super easy meal, and $6.46, I will get several meals out of this one piece of ham. So it is super easy to do. Anybody can do this. Anybody really can do this. All it is boiling the ham. You're not adding seasoning to it. You're not doing all kinds of things with it. I will be using, let me get this out of the way. So you're going to probably laugh at me, but I use this. So I have different sizes of this, and this you actually want to check to make sure when you get this that your ham fits in it. Like I drop it down there, it fits perfectly in there, and there's enough room to where you want to cover the ham completely with water before you start. So the first thing is to make sure that you have a pan big enough. I actually have 3 different sizes of these. I have a bigger size that if I need to use, I can. But this is the size that I'm going to use. And the type of ham. So I got a couple the other day from the store because right now they're really cheap. So this is a 2 that I picked up. This one is a little bit bigger and it'll feed more people. But this one is a ham butt portion. Ham butt portion. It's kind of hard to see. Portion ham. And then this one is the ham shank portion. I use either of these. But one thing though to caution you about is this doesn't work for spiral hams. My cousin Mindy tried it. She messaged me. She says, I got a spiral ham. Can I do this with spiral ham? and she tried it and she said no, she wouldn't recommend it. It's the spiral ham will dry out and it won't work for this. So this recipe you're not going to want to use a spiraled ham for. This is a whole ham. And but like either one, but this has the bone in it. So the bone is all the way through it. I can feel it here and then I can feel it through here. So it's all the way through. And this one's just a little bit smaller. There is the bone in there because I can feel the bone, and I don't think there is as much meat on here. But I've used both of them. You can use any brand. You know, the brand, I've tried different ones, and you know, I guess it's kind of up to you. If you want to spend more money on a more named brand one, then go ahead. It's perfectly fine. But for me, I've tested these, used these all the time, and it's something that I really like. So I'm going to just take this casing off of here. And once you break the seal, it comes off pretty easily. So this is the protection with the bone, which the bone is over here. We're going to toss that. I am going to toss this, and you want to make sure, like a lot of times I'll do this in the sink because there's juice and stuff in there, just so that you don't make a mess all over the place. And so I want to show you the difference with this. So the color of the meat makes a difference. So when you're looking for this in the store, my recommendation is to try to find one that has the darker color on it. Like here has the darker here. This is lighter. So one thing that I have found when you cook this up, that when you go to slice it up, this part is going to be drier, a little bit drier than these here. This is where there's like a ton of flavor in my opinion. Some people, everybody's different. Everybody likes their own. But we find that, you know, so if I can find a ham that has more of the darker color in it than the white, that's what I'm looking for. You're not going to be able to find one that's like all dark. It's just not going to happen. But you will find one that's more whiter than darker when you're looking through them. And so that's just over the years, I've been doing this for years. That's just one of my tips that I say. Try to find the darker. Try to get the ones that have the darker in it, because it'll be loaded with flavor and it'll just the taste of it is just weird, because when you cut this up, the difference tastes in each section of the ham it's just weird. So, okay, I have my ham here unwrapped. I'm going to I have just a knife like this, and I'm just going to poke holes all the way through it. So there is the bone, so you got to kind of watch where the bone is at. All I'm doing is just poking holes. I'm not doing any certain amount. Like there, I'm hitting a bone. You got to be careful you don't poke yourself. And basically, this just lets the water juices go all the way through it. And, you know, if you forget this step, it's not a big deal. It does happen. It seems like before that I've forgot it and oh man, you know. But so then I just take my pan and I'm going to put this in here, fill it up with water, put it on the stove, and just let it cook for, usually I think I let it cook for an hour, and then I flip it over and let it cook for a half an hour to an hour longer boil. I mean like a low boil. And then yeah, so I only flip this once. So when I put this in the pan, when I get done with this, cooking this, I want the flat part to be up in the water. The reason I do that is because that will hold all the juices in here when, you know, it's got this shell that it has here. It'll hold all the juices, but I'm going to start cooking it. I'm going to cook it down like this. and put this down, but you kind of have to watch to make sure that it doesn't burn. So a lot of times when I'm cooking it, I'll just take and poke it, like pull it up off the pan so that it doesn't burn, so that it gets the water down underneath of it. And that's it. That's all I do is just take, and I'm going to fill this with cold water into, like, I have this juice here. I want to try to save this juice. I like this ham juice. Let's see if I can save this without making too big of a mess here. Yeah, there we go. We got the juice there. And it spilled, didn't do too bad. Just a little bit there. And I'm just going to fill this with cold water. Like that. I'm going to do it so the water is completely covering the top of the ham. And then I'm just going to boil it for no longer than 2 hours. I would say an hour and a half to 2 hours. And you're going to let this cool. You could do this. I like to do this the day before, or like Easter. Do it even the night before. Cook it, and you let it cool. And then once it's cool, then you bring it out and you slice it. We usually slice this cold. We've tried to do it like when it's hot and stuff, and it just doesn't have the same flavor as when it's cold. So in our family, our preference, we like to have our ham, I'll cook it up, let it sit. It's good to let it sit in the cold water for, up to 24 hours is good, but you can do it as little as 8 hours. So basically I just have that much, so it's covering the top. I have it just so it's covering the top, but I don't want it to boil over or anything because we're going to get it on a good boil. And I'm just going to put it on the stove and cook it, and that's it. That's our ham. So then I will slice it up. I do have a blog post on this that I talk about. It's not an attractive post because it's simple, and we just slice it up, and that's how we serve it. So it's not a very attractive post. But it's simple, and I get a lot of traffic to it. It's one thing that a lot of people are like curious about boiled ham. And it was funny when my kids were growing up, my youngest daughter, I told her before she went to school, I says, okay, I'm making boiled ham. We're going to have it later for dinner. And she went and told the kids at school, and they laughed at her. They're like, boiled ham? What in the hell is boiled ham? And it was like, it's something that I've grown up with. Well, I mean, I didn't actually grow up with it. I didn't start making this recipe until I was married with my husband because his family made it. So it's something that he grew up with, and I've just continued the tradition, making it because it's what he likes. And for me, it's an easy meal. We will eat off of this for days. And then I will actually we'll slice the ham up or whatever, and any of the leftover ham, I'll take and I'll shred it and take the juice from that. All that water is in there. I won't throw away. I'll turn around and I'll make pea soup with it. So I do have that on my recipe, a split pea soup with ham recipe on my website. It is to die for. If you like split pea soup, but are not sure how to make it, you need to look at that recipe, because that is another recipe that I've been making for years and years and years, and it is a good recipe. It's tried and true. It's tested. I make it, and I actually will make a big pot of it like that, and we'll eat split pea soup for a day or two, and then I give it away to people because it makes so much. But it's a cheap, because what did I spend? $7 on that, and I will be getting several meals from it. And then I'm going to turn around and make split pea soup with it, and have several meals with that for $7. So, you have the little bit extra ingredients that you have in there, but I mean, it's a super easy meal. So I hope you guys like the bonus of the how to make boiled ham. I'm gonna just get that on the stove and start cooking it and let it cook it for 1 hour. Then I'm gonna flip it over, probably like an hour and a half to an hour to an hour and a half, cooking it on the one side, and then I'll just take it, and it's cold enough outside. I actually just set it out on the porch and it's cold. It is, what is it? It's not even 30 degrees here in Michigan. It is that cold. So that's what I do with it. Otherwise, you can like cool it down and put it in the refrigerator, and but super good. So I will post the recipes in the description area when I do the description on this, so that you guys can do the links with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was actually pretty packed full. What are we, 45 minutes? And we did the ham in Swiss slider sandwiches. Super, super good. I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to eat one because I'm hungry. And we did the boiled ham. And then we also talked about the Blackstone griddle, not recommending using the cooking spray on the griddle. So if you missed it, make sure to go back and watch it. I hope you guys have a great evening, and we will see you next time. Bye.